Hello students, in this class we are going to start with the next unit, that is unit number 11, p block elements. Now already we know the periodic table. Here it is, periodic table. I took here periodic table. Periodic table has how many blocks? 4 blocks. How many blocks? 4 blocks. What are those? S block, P block, D block and F block. F block elements are present below the periodic table. Now here total 4 blocks are there. Here we are starting with which unit? P block elements. Means we are studying only this P block elements. What are those? Group number 13 to 18. Group 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18 groups. These are called as what? P block elements. Total how many groups are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 13 to 18. Total how many groups are there? 6 groups. For your first PUC syllabus, only 2 groups we have to study. That is group number 13 and group number 14. Means in the first PUC, only 2 groups are there for the syllabus. Group number 13 and group number 14. And these group number 15, 16, 17 and group 18 we are going to discuss in the second PUC. 15, 16, 17, 18 are not for the first PUC, they are for the second PUC. In the next year we are going to discuss with the 15, 16, 17, 18 group. Means in the first year in this unit, that is unit number 11, P block elements, we have to study only 2 groups, group number 13 and group number 14. That we will discuss in this unit. Now here, what are P block elements? Definition. For example, I will take one rough paper. For example, someone is telling that boron belongs to which block? The element boron belongs to which block? Now just check here. Here, total how many blocks are there? S, P, D and F. 4 blocks are there. Here, boron atomic number is 5. Boron atomic number is 5. What is the electronic configuration of the boron? 1. If you write the electronic configuration, it will be 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. Means here out of 5 electrons, 2 electrons are added into the 1s orbital and next 2 electrons are added into the 2s orbital, and the last electron out of 5 electrons, 4 electrons are added into the 1s and 2s. This last 5th electron, that is last electron, enters into which orbital? P orbital. The last electron enters into the which orbital of the valence shell? P orbital of the valence shell. Therefore, this boron belongs to the P block. Boron belongs to which block? P block. Why boron belongs to the P block, sir? Because if you check the electronic configuration, the last electron in the boron is entering into the P orbital. P orbital of the valence shell. P orbital of the valence shell. Therefore, this boron belongs to the which block? P block. Similarly, let us take carbon. Now, someone is asking, carbon belongs to which block? S, P, D, or F? Which block it will belongs? For this one, you have to write the electronic configuration. Atomic number of carbon is 6. What is the electronic configuration? Atomic number is 6 means it is having how many electrons? 6 electrons. If I write 1s2, 2s2, 2p1, just check. Correct? 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. Out of 6 electrons, 2 electrons are added into the 1s orbital. Next 2 electrons are added into the 2s orbital, and the last 5th electron added into the 2p orbital. Means how many electrons are left with the carbon? 1. Total how many are there? 6. Total how many are there? 6 electrons. Out of 6 electrons, 2 are added into the 1s, 2 are added into the 2s, and last, right, a 5th electron added into the 2p. Means how many electrons are left? 1. Means in the p you can add another electron also, because in the p orbitals you can add maximum 6 electrons. Here how many electrons are added? Only 1. Means that last electron, that is last electron, here it is, this is last electron, 6th electron, last electron. Out of 6, 5 are already added. This is the last electron. This is the last electron, which is also entering into the p orbital. Which is also entering into the which orbital? P orbital. Right here it is last electron enters into the p orbital. Therefore, it will be last 2p2. Means last electron is also entering into the p orbital. This carbon is belongs to the which block? P block. Means what is meant by p block elements? Here boron, carbon are p block elements. Why they are called as p block elements? Because the last electron is entering into the p orbital of the valence shell. P orbital of the valence shell. Right, therefore they are called as what? P block elements. Sir, what is meant by s block elements? If the last electron enters into the which orbital? S orbital of the valence shell. Sir, what is meant by f block elements? If the last electron enters into the f orbital of the valence shell are called f block elements. Here we are discussing with the only p block elements. Therefore, I am going to write only p block elements definition. Means here the elements in which the last electron enters into the p orbital of the valence shell are called as what? P block elements. I will write the definition here. Definition for the p block elements is the elements in which the last electron enters into the p orbital of the valence shell are called p block elements. Means what is meant by p block elements? The elements in which the last electron enters into where? P orbital of the valence shell are called as what? P block elements. This is very important. P orbital. Last electron should enters into the p orbital of the valence shell. Therefore, they are called as what? P block elements. Now, from where to where groups are there? Groups for p block elements. Groups from where to where? Group number from 13 to group 18. Group 13 to group 18 are called as what? P block elements. P block elements. Total how many groups are there? Total how many groups are there? Total number of groups. Total number of groups. 13 to 18 means how many are there? 6. 0, 6 means only 6 groups are there. Only 6 groups are there in the p block elements. That is from 13 to 18. Now already we know the general valence shell electronic configuration. General valence shell electronic configuration for p block elements, right, is equal to, what is the general valence shell electronic configuration? This we have studied in the classification of elements unit, right? I already told you in 4, right? For general electronic configuration for the s block elements, p block elements, d block elements and f block elements, one should be there for 1 marks. I told already, correct? Here p block elements general valence shell electronic configuration is ns2 np 1 to 6 1 to 6. This is the general valence shell electronic configuration of the p block elements, right? Now this is the introduction part over. Next, I told already here in the first PUC, right, first year or in the first PUC, you are going to study only 2 groups. That is, we have to study group 13, that is called boron family. First member of the group 13 is boron. Therefore, it is also called as what? Boron family. And also we have to study the another group, that is group 14. Group 14. The first member of the group 14 is carbon. Therefore, it is called carbon family. Carbon family means in the first PUC we are going to study only 2 groups, group 13 and group 14. That is boron family and carbon family. 15, 16, 17, 18. Remaining 4 groups we are going to study in the next year. That is in the second PUC. Now we will start with the group 13. Group 13. That is only I am writing here. We are starting with which one? Group 13. or it is also called as what? I told already, it is also called boron family. Boron family. Now we will see what are the elements which are belongs to the 13th group. 13th group. In the 13th group, what are the elements are present? I will write the elements first. Right. Now here it is. First member of the 13th group is boron. Next second member is aluminium. Boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, and the last one is thallium. Here, these are the 5 elements which belongs to the 13th group. What are those? Boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, and the last one is thallium. I will write the symbol also. Boron is indicated by the symbol B. B means boron. And aluminium is indicated by the symbol Al, aluminium. And gallium is indicated by the symbol Ga, gallium. Indium is indicated by the symbol Iron, indium. And the thallium is indicated by the symbol Tl, thallium. Right, these are the elements which belongs to the 13th group. 13th group. Now we will discuss the occurrence. Now here first we will discuss the occurrence of boron. Boron is the rare element, means available in small amount, small quantity, therefore it is called a rare element. Boron is a rare element and it occurs in 3 forms. Boron available in 3 forms, 1, 2, and I will write third one here. First, second, third. In 3 forms it will available. What are those? First one is orthoboric acid. Orthoboric acid. This is the first one. What is the formula of orthoboric acid, sir? That is H3BO3. Here boron is there. Is there a H3BO3? Right? Orthoboric acid. And the second form is borax. Second form is borax. Borax, what is the formula of borax, sir? Borax formula is, here it is, Na2B4O7, 10 water molecules, 10 H2O. This is the formula for which one? Formula for the borax. Here boron is there. Just remember here 10 H2O is there. 10 water molecules are there. What is the formula of borax? Na2B4O7, 10 H2O. This is the formula for the borax. And the last one form which is available is now kernite. Which is available is kernite. And the formula is, just check, the formula is, here it is, Na2B4O7. Sir, borax also Na2B4O7 and kernite is also Na2B4O7. How it is possible? Now just check. In the borax 10 water molecules are there. In the kernite only 4 water molecules are there. 4 H2O. This is kernite. Means boron is available in 3 forms. Right, that is orthoboric acid, borax and kernite. Orthoboric acid H3BO3, borax Na2B4O7, 10 H2O, and the kernite Na2B4O7, 4 H2O. Now we will go for the aluminium. Second element, aluminium. Boron over. Next we will go for the aluminium. Here aluminium is available as, just check here, mainly 2 forms. Right, now what are those? Is bauxite. The first form is bauxite and the second form is cryolite. What is the formula of the bauxite? Bauxite formula is Al2O3 2H2O. Al2O3 2H2O. This is the formula of the bauxite. Cryolite formula is Na2Al-F6. Na2Al-F6. This is the formula of cryolite. Now these formulas are very important for 1 marks. What is the formula of orthoboric acid. Your answer should be H3BO3. What is the formula for kernite? Your answer should be Na2B4O7 4H2O. What is the formula of cryolite? Na2Al F6. Right. Now these are the occurrence of boron and aluminum, and the important thing is the aluminum is most abundant metal. Most abundant metal means in the metal which one is available in large quantity, then your answer should be aluminum. Aluminum is the metal which is available in very large quantity compared in the other metals. I am comparing with the only metals. Only metals means if you compare the only metals, the aluminum is first number, that is it is available in very large quantity. For other elements, if you compare the other elements, then first very most abundant element is oxygen, next to silicon, and the third most abundant element is aluminum. Third most abundant element is aluminum. In case of metals, aluminum is first number. Aluminum is first number. In case of elements, in all elements other than metals and non-metals, whatever may be, all other elements, the oxygen is first number, silicon is second number, and the third most abundant element is aluminum. In only metals, the aluminum is the first most abundant element. Right. Now this is the occurrence of boron and aluminum. Next we will go for the general properties of 13th group elements. For this one I took another paper. Our next concept in the 13th group is general properties of 13th group elements. General properties of 13th group elements. We will discuss this one now. Now just check. First we will discuss the electronic configuration. First we will discuss with the electronic configuration. Electronic configuration of 13th group elements. Now here I will write the first. Now I want to make the columns for this one. Now just check. First element, next atomic number, and the last column is already you know, that is electronic configuration. I made how many columns? 3 columns. Element, atomic number, and last one is electronic configuration. First I will write the elements names. Elements, here it is. First, what are the elements? Boron, aluminium, gallium, next indium, and the last one is thallium. These are the elements name. Now boron, atomic number is 5. The atomic number of the aluminium is 13. The atomic number of the gallium is 31. Indium is 49. And the thallium is 81. 81. Already I told. Right here, magic numbers. But here, gallium, it belongs to the 4th period. D block elements are including. Means you have to add 10. Right? In this way, 2, 8, 8, 18. In this way, you have to use the magic numbers. Right? Now just check it. Or just remember the atomic number of boron is 5, aluminium is 13, gallium is 31, indium is 49, and the thallium is 81. Just enough. This one you remember. Now I will write the electronic configurations. Right? The electronic configuration of the boron is, I will take the uses of noble gases. Helium 2s2 2p1. The electronic configuration of the aluminium is neon 3s2 3p1. Now if you think that the electronic configuration of the gallium is argon 4s2 4p1, because boron belongs to the which period? Second period. Boron belongs to which period? Second period. Therefore 2s2 2p1. Aluminium belongs to the third period. Therefore 3s2 3p1. And gallium belongs to fourth period. Therefore 4s2 4p1. In this way, if you are thinking, it is wrong, right? 4s2 4p1 is there, but if you check the periodic table, here boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. In this way it is. For boron, only S block elements and P block elements. S block and P. S and P. Right. Now here for aluminium also only S is there. There is no D block elements. If you check here, right here, there is no D block elements, right, for aluminium. For gallium, just check, S block elements are there, D block elements are also there. S block element is there, D block elements are also there. Means how many D block elements? 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Means you have to add here 3d10. 18 plus 10, 28. Argon atomic number is 18. 18 plus 10, how much it is? 28. 28 plus 2, 29, 30. 30 plus 1, 31. Now the electronic configuration is correct. Now for indium, what is the electronic configuration? Krypton 4d10. Why I am writing 10? Already you know the idea. 4d10, and it will be 5s2 and 5p1. 5s2 and 5p1. For thallium, if you write the electronic configuration, xenon, that is 54 atomic number, 5d10, 6s2, 6p1. If you count 54 plus 10, how much it is? 54 plus 10, 64. Right, 64 plus 2, 65, 66. 66 plus 1, 67. Only 67 is happening. Sorry, 81 required now. Only 67. But if you check the periodic table, for thallium, we are writing for thallium. Here it is thallium. Where it is thallium? Here it is thallium. Thallium is there. Means here S block is there, D block is also there, and F block is also there. F, that is lanthanoid series, actinoid series, it is there. F block is also there. Means you have to write 14 electrons. From the 6th period only 14 electrons are selected and they are kept below the periodic table, and the name is given as lanthanoid series. Means the 14 elements are missing from the 6th period and 7th period. Therefore you have to write that is also here in the electronic configuration. Therefore it will be 4f14. 4f14. Now if you check, now count 54 plus 14, how much it is? 58, 68. 68 plus 10, 78. 78 plus 2, 80. 80 plus 1, 81. Now this is the correct electronic configuration of the 13th group elements: boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. Here 3D is including because the gallium belongs to the 4th period, and n minus 1d we have to take. N value is 4 and n minus 1 means 3d. Here similarly 4d, here 4f and 5f. 4f because n minus 2. N value is 6. N minus 2 means 6 minus 2, that is 4f. Right, in this way I wrote the electronic configuration of all the elements. Now next we will go for the atomic radius, ionization enthalpy, electronegativity, this concept. Right, first electronic configuration over. Now if you check what is the general valence, right, here I will take another point also. General valence shell, only valence shell, not inner shells, only valence shell, n value only. General valence shell, electronic configuration of 13th group elements is, here it is. What is the point? General valence shell, electronic configuration of which group? 13th group. 13th group is, now just check, n value is 2 na, 2s2 2p1. Here aluminium n value is 3 na, 3s2 3p1. For gallium n value is 4 na, 4s2 4p1. Indium n value is 5 na, because 5th period, 5s2 5p1. Here thallium belongs to 6th period, that is n value is 6, that is 6s2 6p1. Means here n value is 2 for boron, aluminium n value is 3, for gallium n value is 4. Period number second period, third period, fourth period, fifth period, sixth period. Means if you check only n numbers, right, here it is 2s2, 2p1, 3s2, 3p1, 4s2, 4p1. Indirectly it is ns2, np1. This is the general valence shell electronic configuration for which group? 13th group. I took only n values. I am not considering n minus 1, n minus 2, etc. Right? Only n value if you take, right, what is the general valence shell electronic configuration of the 13th group? ns2, np1. This is the electronic configuration of 13th group. Next we will go for the atomic radius, ionization, enthalpy, electronegativity. All I want to discuss directly in one time. Right, here it is. I want to take atomic radius. Here I want to take third one, that is ionization enthalpy. Here I want to take the last one, that is electronegativity. Now just check here. I want to discuss this one. Now first I will discuss the atomic radius. I will discuss with what one? Atomic radius. What are the elements? What are the elements for atomic radius? Right, I will take this one, this color. Boron, aluminum, 13th group, boron, aluminum, gallium, indium, and the last one is thallium. Now this is group period. Boron, aluminum, gallium, indium, thallium. We are discussing about group period. Group means which group it is? 13th group. Which group it is? 13th group. Correct? 13th group. Group means top to bottom. Generally what happens? Generally what happens to the atomic radius from top to bottom? For this one I will take the rough paper here. Right, now just check. Here I will take one rough paper. Here classification of elements we have discussed. Right, along groups. Atomic radius increases. That is from top to bottom. Atomic radius increases. If you write from top to bottom atomic radius increases continuously, that will be the wrong. What happens is boron to aluminum, as we think, that is only happening, that is atomic radius increasing. From gallium to thallium also atomic radius is increasing. Boron to aluminum, size is increasing. Gallium to indium, size is increasing. Indium to thallium, size is increasing. But if you check from aluminum to gallium, the atomic radius is slightly decreases. Clear? Boron to aluminum atomic radius is increasing. Gallium to thallium it is increasing. But aluminum to gallium the atomic radius is decreasing. Sir, why it is decreasing, sir? Why the atomic radius is decreasing from aluminum to gallium? Question. Why atomic radius decreases from aluminum to gallium, or why the size of aluminum is more than the gallium? Why the gallium size is slightly lesser than the size of the aluminum? Whatever may be the question, what I wrote, why the atomic radius decreases from aluminum to gallium. Another type question is why the size of aluminum is more than the gallium? Why gallium is smaller size than the aluminum? If the question will be there, then your answer. First we will think. Now if you check the electronic configuration, here only answer is there. If you check the electronic configuration, here boron to aluminum, same electronic configuration. Boron to aluminum, almost same electronic configuration. Whereas from aluminum to gallium, which electrons are coming? D electrons. New electrons are coming. Here in boron only sp is there. In the aluminum only sp is there. From aluminum to gallium, if you come, just to check here, 3d orbital is including. D orbitals are extra. Means which electrons are coming? D electrons. What is the order of shielding effect? We have discussed about the shielding effect. What is the order of shielding effect? S is much more shielding effect than P, than D, than F. Means here D electrons are involving, means less shielding effect. because S is having very high shielding effect and P has little bit more shielding effect than the D, but D is having very less shielding effect. Shielding effect is less. Shielding effect is less means size is decreases. Less shielding effect, size decreases. That is shielding effect. Shielding effect is directly proportional to the size. More shielding effect, more will be the size. Less shielding effect, less will be the size. Because of presence of d electrons, less shielding effect is there. Therefore, size decreases. Less shielding effect, smaller will be the size. More shielding effect, more will be the size. Now your doubt is, sir, what is meant by shielding effect? Correct? What actually meant by shielding effect? For this one, I will take the rough paper first. Now, we will discuss the shielding effect now. For example, I will take one atom. If this is the nucleus of the atom and this is the valence shell, I will take first valence shell, last shell, outermost shell. Clear? This is the outermost shell. Outermost shell. And I will draw this one inner shell. Here it is. This one is inner shell. Inner shell. Now what happens? This nucleus is positively charged. Nucleus is which charge? Positive. Right? Positive. And the electrons which are present in the valence shell or whatever may be the shell, these are negatively charged. Right? Now what happens? Actually here? The electrons which are present in the inner shell, here it is electron. I will write electron here. Electron. They decreases the attraction of the nucleus towards the valence shell electrons. Means the electrons which are present in the inner shell, the electrons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. 6. I took the 6 electrons. The electrons which are present in the inner shell, will decreases the what? Attraction of the nucleus towards the valence shell. The inner shell electrons decreases the attraction of inner shell electrons decreases the attraction of what? Attraction of nucleus, that is positive. Nucleus to the attraction between, or attraction of nucleus to the or towards the attraction of nucleus towards the valence shell electrons. Means because of these inner shell electrons, the nucleus and the valence shell attraction is reducing. Means almost all attraction is towards the only inner shell. This nucleus is attracting much more only for the inner shell electrons. Now the attraction towards the valence shell, if it is decreases means this shielding effect stronger. Attraction of nucleus and the valence shell electron, attraction between the nucleus and the valence shell electron, if it is decreases, that is called strong shielding effect. Here it is. Just check. Here shielded. This inner shell electrons are shielded the nucleus. They are covered completely the nucleus. That is called shielding. Right? When this inner shell are attracting the nucleus strongly, our nucleus and the valence shell attraction is decreases because of inner shell electrons. The attraction between nucleus and the valence shell electrons. Are decreasing because of inner shell electrons. That is called shielding effect. If much more decrease in the attraction, that is called a strong shielding effect. Because of strong shielding effect, the nucleus and the valence shell electrons is very decreasing. That is called a strong shielding effect. Strong shielding effect means the attraction of between the nucleus and the valence shell electron is decreasing. When the attraction decreases, what happens? These valence shell electrons moves away from the nucleus. When they move away from the nucleus, size goes on decreases. The valence shell electrons and nucleus attraction decreases means what happens? The electrons moves away from the nucleus. therefore size increases. Strong shielding means size increases. Strong shielding means the inner electrons decreasing the attraction between the nucleus and valence shell electrons. When the attraction between the nucleus and valence shell electron decreases, these valence shell electrons moves away from the nucleus. When they move away from the nucleus, what happens? Attraction, right, are decreasing. They are moving away from the nucleus means size is increasing. Strong shielding effect, the attraction between nucleus and valence electron decreases. When they decreases, they move away from the nucleus and the size increases. When these electrons move away from the nucleus because of less attraction, right, a size increases. Strong shielding effect, size increases. If it is weak shielding effect, means inner core electrons are not attracting the nucleus strongly, then what happens? This nucleus and valence shell electrons are attracted strongly. These inner core electrons are not shielded, right, properly. What happens? The nucleus and valence shell electrons are attracted strongly. Attracted strongly means slowly these valence electrons are coming towards the nucleus. Coming towards the nucleus means when weak shielding happening, just check here. When weak shielding is happening, weak shielding means these inner electrons are not attracting the nucleus strongly. Right? What happens? Nucleus and the valence shell electrons are strongly attracted. Strongly attracted means these valence electrons are coming towards the nucleus. Then what happens? Size decreases. Size goes on decreases. Means strong shielding effect, size increasing. Weak shielding effect, size is decreasing. That is only I wrote here. Right, that is only I want to write here. Shielding effect is directly proportional to the size. Now just check here, from aluminium to gallium. Forget about that shielding effect. Right, now just check, from aluminium to gallium, which electrons are coming? D electrons. Which electrons are coming? D electrons. If you check the shielding effect order, what is the order of shielding effect? Yes, more shielding effect, P, D, F. Right, we have discussed this one in the classification of element unit. Means D is having weak shielding effect or large shielding effect? Weak shielding effect. S is having strong shielding effect, D is having weak shielding effect. Weak shielding effect means shielding effect is decreasing, then size also decreases. Therefore, when in the gallium D electrons are entering, right, weak shielding effect. Therefore, size is decreasing. That is the answer, right? Now, that is only I am writing. In gallium, the D electrons are present. Therefore, less shielding effect, and hence size decreases. Less shielding effect means what? The nucleus and valence electrons are attracting strongly because of shielding is less. Therefore, size is decreasing. Just you have to write answer as, in gallium, the D electrons are present, D orbital electrons are present. Therefore, less shielding effect is taking place, and hence the size of the gallium is decreasing from aluminium to gallium. This is the reason, that is shielding effect. Right. Next, we will go for the ionization enthalpy. Atomic radius over. Next, we will go for the ionization enthalpy. Now, for this one, I will write once again the elements. What are those? Boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. What we think from top to bottom, if the size increases, ionization enthalpy decreases. Here, boron to aluminium, size is increasing, ionization enthalpy decreases. We know that here size is inversely proportional to the ionization enthalpy. 1 by ionization enthalpy. Size is inversely proportional to, that is 1 by ionization enthalpy. Right? From boron to aluminium, size is increasing, ionization enthalpy decreases. From aluminium to gallium, here it is. From aluminium to gallium, size is decreasing. Size decreases means ionization enthalpy increases. Here, from gallium to indium, size again increasing, ionization enthalpy decreases. Opposite you have to take. increases, decreases, decreases, increases, increases, decreases, right? Because size is inversely proportional to ionization enthalpy. But in case of from indium to thallium, what happens? The ionization enthalpy increases. Ionization enthalpy increases because if you check from indium to thallium, the F electrons are involving again. Which electrons are involving? F electrons are involving. Therefore, ionization enthalpy also increases. Ionization enthalpy also increases. This is the order of ionization enthalpy, right? In 13th group, boron to aluminum decreases, aluminum to gallium increases, gallium to indium decreases, again indium to thallium increases. This is the order of what? Ionization enthalpy for the 13th group elements. Next, we will go for the electronegativity. I will write the first elements. What are the elements? Here it is. This one is also over. Next, to go for the electronegativity. What are the elements? Boron, aluminum, gallium, indium, and the last one is thallium. Here it is very simple. From boron to aluminum, the electronegativity decreases. The electronegativity decreases. Aluminum to thallium, the electronegativity increases. Here I will write increases. Slightly increases, not much point change. Only 0.1, 0.05, 0.2, that much only increases, not in much amount, right? From boron to aluminum, what happens to the electronegativity? Decreases. From aluminum to, correct, from aluminum to thallium, it is increases, slightly increases, not much, slightly. The word here slightly, you have to write slightly increases from aluminum to thallium. This is about the electronic configuration over, atomic radius, how it will changes over, ionization enthalpy over, and the electronegativity in the 13th group also over. And we have discussed the one question also, why atomic radius decreases from aluminum to gallium? Because when in the gallium the electrons are entering, the shielding effect is decreasing. When the shielding effect decreases, the size decreases. Now, after completion of this general properties of 13th group elements, next we will go for the physical properties of the 13th group elements. We will discuss last concept in this video, that is physical properties. Physical properties of 13th group elements. Physical properties of 13th group elements. We will discuss this one. Now, here directly I will write here points, physical properties. Now, one by one I will write. Here, p block elements. Already we have discussed p block elements. Metals or non-metals are in the periodic table. We have discussed that. If this one is the periodic table, S block elements, D block elements, these are metals. These are metals, right? S block elements, D block elements are metals, whereas P block elements are non-metals. Non-metals means therefore, right? Therefore, here again, here don't get confused. Here from top to bottom again the metallic character increases. Therefore, first boron is a non-metal here. Boron is non-metallic in nature, means boron is a non-metal. If you see the boron, it will look like a kolsi, kalidul, right? If you see the boron, it will look like a coal, means boron is hard black color solid, hard black color solid. Next, if you check the melting point of the boron, right, it is very high, means in this group boron is having high melting point. Boron has high melting point, right? Next, here the one word is there, allotropy. For this one I will take the rough paper, allotropy. Now just check, for allot is meant by allotropy. For example, I will take chair, table, door, window. I am taking chair, table, door, window. These are all are, for example, just think that all are made up of only wood. Wood. All are made up of wood. Chair is also made up of wood. Table is also made up of wood. Door is also made up of wood. Window is also made up of wood. But the properties are same or different? All are made up of same element, that is wood. Same material, that is wood. But properties are same or different? You know the property of chair. Why it is used? For sitting. You know the where the table is used, where the door is used, you know, right? Where the window is used, you know. Means properties are same or different? In place of door, you can use chair. No. In place of chair, you can use window. Na? No. The properties of chair is different, properties of table is different, properties of door is different, properties of window is different. Means all even made up of same material wood, the properties are different. The properties are different. That is called allotropy. That is called as what? Allotropy. Made up of same element. Made up of same element. But the properties are different. But the properties are different. That is called as what? Allotropy. ಮನೆಗೆ ಚೇರ್ ಇರ್ತಾವ, ಟೇಬಲ್ ಇರ್ತಾವ, ಬಾಗಿಲುಗಳು ಇರ್ತಾವ, ಕಿಟಕಿಗಳು ಇರ್ತಾವ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆಲಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿಂದ ಅನ್ಕೋರಿ. ಒಂದೇ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್, ಒಂದೇ ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆಲಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿಂದ. ಬಟ್ ಚೇರ್ ಜಾಗನಾಗ ಯಾರ ಡೋರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರ? ಯಾರ ನೀವು ಕೂಡ್ಲಕ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಬರ್ರಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ತರ್ತೀರಿ? ಚೇರಾ, ಟೇಬಲಾ, ಡೋರಾ, ವಿಂಡೋನಾ? ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಏನ್ ತರ್ಬೇಕು? ಚೇರ್. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಡೋರು, ಟೇಬಲು, ವಿಂಡೋ ತರ್ತೀನಿ ಇಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ, ರಾಂಗ್. ಡೋರ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹಚ್ಚಿಸ್ತಾರ? ಡೋರೇ ಹಚ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದ್ರ ಜಾಗದಾಗ ನೀವು ಚೇರ್ ಹಚ್ಚರ ನಡೀತದ? ನಡೆಯಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಅವನ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಅವ? ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್. Even though all are made up of same element, same material, same substance, the properties are different. That is called allotropy. That is called allotropy. For example, mattondhu example. Carbon available as diamond. Diamond ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ಏನದ? ಕಾರ್ಬನ್. ಗ್ರಾಫೈಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ಏನದ? ಕಾರ್ಬನ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಫುಲೆರಿನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಇದರ್ಲಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿಂದ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್. Means carbon ಅದ. Diamond is also made up of carbon. Graphite is also made up of carbon. Fullerene is also made up of the carbon. But the properties are same or different? Diamond is very, very cost. Very, very high cost. Right? Graphite is cheaper. Means the properties are same or different? Diamond is shining in nature. Graphite is not shining in nature. Right? Properties same or different? Different. Means all are made up of same element, that is carbon. But the properties are different. That is called allotropy. Here, boron is also having many allotropic forms. Boron has many allotropic forms. Already you know the meaning of allotropic. Allotropy means what? Made up of same element. Allotropy means what? Made up of same element, but the properties are different. That is called allotropy. Now, if you go for the other elements other than boron, gallium, indium, thallium, aluminium, right? Those are soft metals. Other elements are soft metals. Compared with the boron, they are soft. They are soft metals and has low melting point, and they are having low melting point and very high electrical conductivity. Means boron is only non-metal in the 13th group. I told already, from top to bottom what happens? Metallic nature increases. Boron is only non-metal. Other elements are metallic in nature and they are soft, has low melting point and very high electrical conductivity. And the last point is very important. Sixth one I will write with different color pen. Now what is that one? Is the gallium element. Gallium has very, very low melting point. Very, very low melting point. That is 303 Kelvin temperature. Means when you keep your gallium on your hand also, it will start melting. It will start melting. When you keep the gallium on your hand, the gallium starts melting. At room temperature, in summer also, gallium starts melting because it is having very, very low melting point. Very, very low melting point. In case of winter, what happens? It is available in solid. Gallium is available in solid. In case of summer, at high temperature, it will available as a liquid because gallium is having very, very low melting point now. But very high boiling point. Very high boiling point. The boiling point is nearly 2676 Kelvin temperature. Means gallium is having very, very low melting point. It can melt at very, very very less temperature, and it is having very high boiling point, that is 2676 Kelvin temperature. This is the last property of the, this is the last which property? Physical properties of the 13th group element. That is, I am writing gallium has low melting point, that is how much? 303 Kelvin temperature, and high boiling point, that is how much? 2676 Kelvin temperature. Now this completes the physical properties of the 13th group elements. In my next class, we will discuss the chemical properties of the 13th group elements. We will stop here only. Thank you.